FBA fees climbing, I'm losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game, the algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. The reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASINs down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope. Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell today. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Samples suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stacked, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, both sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low, all products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope. They got the SAP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe. Helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalogs, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden loop. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium 10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the URSOP so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
Hello, and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm sales director here at My Amazon Guy, and as with every single Friday, I'm here to answer any and all e-commerce questions you may have. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I think I might. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We're back. Had a little bit of a lag issue, and that's to be expected every so often, I suppose, because they've been working on my internet all week. So is what it is. Let's put the first one up here. Viper in early this week. Viper threw his question in at 9:30 this morning, oddly enough. So happy Friday. I have an item that was selling well, but due to shipping tariff issues, it has been out of stock since February. I know the number 1 and 2 rules you do of the Amazon Bible, which is never run out of stock. Is it best to relaunch that product using mag launch? Yes, typically speaking. Whenever you have any type of situation where you have a product that is going in out of stock consistently, one, reassess how you are getting that item. I think that's the first thing that you should always do in this kind of scenario. But secondarily to that, if you have just lost a lot of ranking and you're not able to get back in easy capacity or an easy way, then yes, I would absolutely go about doing some form of relaunch of that product overall. You can create a new SKU for the ASIN, or you could create an entirely new ASIN with a new UPC as well. So let's jump to strategy, mag launch strategy, or there is a variation I can launch. Should I launch the variation, then merge the original to run off the momentum of the variation? You can, but again, you might run into issues where you just end up cannibalizing your new variation with the historic sales volume of the one that has been essentially losing you sales this whole time as well. So just something to keep in mind. Let's see here. Separate item. I have a listing that has good amount of reviews, but I want to phase out. I have a variation that I want to utilize those reviews. Should I launch the new variation first and then merge the old item to the new variation? When I phase out the old listing and it's out of stock, will that affect the new listing? I want to retain the reviews of the old listing to help with sales. Yeah, so you can technically keep the reviews as long as you create a new ASIN and it has a new UPC and you're trying to update the UPC, but you could run into the issue as well of essentially having it just be completely cannibalized with the old ASIN's sales volume. So it's one thing, and they can also potentially just not give you the reviews at all, and it just turns into a separate listing entirely. So just something to keep in mind there. Let's move on to, I think I'm still having connection issues, but I suppose we'll just keep going. If I end up lagging out, I lag out, and we end short, I suppose. Let's get a new. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not going to try. There's a specific keyword that I'm ranking on organically, but whenever I run a campaign on it, I never get impressions, no matter how many times I try. I always commit the best practices for campaigns, one target campaign, only one target of each keyword is running. I even raised my bid 5 times, Amazon suggestion, and also raised my budget. I am ranking on the first page, but never got impressions. Interesting. So the one thing that would probably call out here that I haven't seen from you is that you didn't say, you said you raised your bid 5 times, Amazon suggestion, but what did you raise your bid to is the question. And where are you seeing the impressions that you're getting? You could have a hidden suppression of some kind, but I would just give a double check there to make sure that you are, not having any bidding issues, because that's usually where this takes place. People think that, oh, I've raised my bid to X amount, should be good, right? Well, not necessarily. You typically are going to still see impression issues. So we have an entire video I put together. If you just go to our YouTube channel and type in the word impressions in the search, it'll be the very first video that pops up that goes over, 5 common reasons as to why you might be getting low impressions across the board. Give me one sec. Where are we? There we go. I saw many agencies using automatic tools for PPC, like Perpetua by Highly Expert using manual, but for calculation, Seller Dashboard, and Data Dive Helium 10. So what auto tools you using for PPC? We don't. So we do all of our PPC manual by hand. We're not a huge fan at the end of the day when it comes to doing automated PPC. Personally, I just don't see that it usually works nearly as well as somebody just taking a manual approach to the PPC. And in fact, the exact opposite. I've seen many a times when I have gone through and seen people who are utilizing, automated PPC, and there is tons and tons and tons of problems. So it really depends. If you're someone who doesn't know anything about PPC, they can be a decent tool, I suppose, for the price point. You can get $500 for some, half crapped, PPC automation, or you can spend a little bit more money and get an actual expert who knows something. Cool. I think I'm on Mark. Mark, good to see you. Happy Friday to you, Noah. Happy Friday to you, Mark. Can you explain the usage for phrase match campaigns? I hear a lot about exact and broad, but rarely hear anything about phrase match. Is there a situation this is ideal? Yeah. So let me pull up my age-old graphic that I love using anytime someone has this question. If I can find it. Here we go. So I use this graphic anytime someone has this question because it's always a great graphic to look at. So here is this. So this graphic, and I'll get rid of Mark here for a second, goes over the difference between broad, phrase, and exact match for your keyword. So phrase, typically speaking, has the exact keyword or keyword phrase that you are using alongside it. So it has to be artisan soap for holidays, artisan soap for gift baskets, artisan soap. Basically, artisan and soap have to be next to each other for phrase to matter. Now, when would you use phrase over something like an exact or a broad? Well, broad, you can see that, for instance, for artisan soap, you're going to have soap for artisan baskets, right? It's somewhat what you want, but it's not, it's not artisan soap, right? It's soap for artisan baskets, a little different. So the big aspect here that you want to typically be looking at for phrase is for utilizing it in a capacity that has a potential for it. So a great example of this would be, let's say that you are selling blue balloons. And let me just pull up like a new tab here and then share my screen. Let's present, stop screen real quick. Let me share this. So let's go to a new tab. Go to Amazon. So let's say on Amazon, you have blue balloons that you are selling. So you can see when I type in blue balloons, there's a lot of different things. So blue balloons, different sizes. There's blue balloons arch kit, blue balloons 12-inch, blue balloons 4 arch, blue balloons pack, right? You would want to target this over something like a broad match. You'd want to do phrase match, Mark, because if you do something where it's broad, you could have something along the lines of blue balloons for blue birthday, right? Like that would work, but you could also have something like I don't know, balloons for blue. What is that? What is that show? Blues Clues? Like Blues Clues, right? This also technically works, but this is a little more niche than what you want, right? So this is where the difference between phrase and broad works. It's if you're looking for keywords to be exactly together. So again, something like artisan soap, right? So we have artisan soap bars, artisan soap crafting set, artisan soap kit, but you don't want something like soap. Oh, oopsies. You don't want something like soap for artisan. I don't know. Let's see what some different ones are. Oh, these are all going to be phrased, but you don't want something like soap for artisan drawing, right? I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe it is, right? This wouldn't work for trying to do artisan soaps. So that's, I guess, the high level idea, actually a little bit more than high level, but that's the difference, right? Is that you're looking to have your phrase, and this works better if you have a full phrase, right? If you have something along the lines of like blue balloons for birthdays, right? That works a lot better than doing a broad match where you could potentially have a couple of those keywords within a broader category. Roish, how do you pick which keywords to use from competitors to put in listing for indexing and or PPC? What are the determining factor? Determining factors are going to be things such as search volume, what their ranking is for it. So if you have a direct competitor who has a very high ranking for a keyword that you're not currently indexing for, the likelihood of it being a relevant keyword that you should likely be going against is fairly high. So it's one of the major areas to be looking at. Next to that as well, I typically am going to be looking at, like I said, relevancy. So is it relevant towards your product? Is it relevant only towards their product? Are they, I don't know, is it indexing for the word green balloons when you only sell yellow balloons? I don't know, right? So search volume is always going to be top. Ranking is up there as well. How many competing products are there? Is it a branded term? If it is, don't go after it from like a indexing on the listing, because you don't want to put branded terms on your listing. So those are the general rules of thumb. You also only want to be choosing ones that have some form of sales revenue going for them as well. What about keywords competitors are indexing that are in different subcategories, which can also boost sales for them? How do I utilize those strategies with my ASIN? Put in PPC, such as someone selling garlic press, also indexing for vegetable organizer. Yeah, so that happens over time with things such as search terms. So that's primarily a category aspect when people are starting to index from a parent level category, not a subcategory. So that's not really a subcategory thing. It's more of a parent level because people are bouncing around, and that's likely an ASIN that has gotten a product sale off of a vegetable organizer at some point in time because they are comparable within their parent level category. So the best way to go about that is, yes, one, PPC typically, but also then backend search terms. Backend search terms and alt text are going to be the best areas for you to do that. You mentioned the new changes with main image, but my listing still has the tag with the text from before rules came out. But I also noticed my CTR rate dropped from several weeks back, even though impressions remain the same. Do you think Amazon is slowly suppressing it organically, even though the ASIN still pops up organically? My organic sales are dropping as well as the CTR this past week. Should I remove the tag now or wait till after Prime Day to do it? So first off, they keep it. The reason it hasn't had anything happen to it is because you haven't tried to change it. They are only removing ones when you try and change it. So they aren't going back and like retroactively, at least from my knowledge right now, checking all of these images with the AI. It's only if you go and try and change the image that they then retroactively go back and they're like, oh yeah, this image isn't allowed, which is the problem. Now, from a suppression aspect, unlikely. One thing that you are probably seeing, especially if impressions haven't dropped at all, is just Prime Day. So Prime Day, usually June, you're going to see a sales drop, typically a few weeks before July, just because the fact that people know Prime Day is coming up, right? So people aren't going to be clicking on things as much. People aren't going to be buying as much and converting as much. So your clicks probably are decreasing, but even the clicks that you are getting aren't converting as well. So all of these are factors. You can always check as well, go into an incognito window and then search for your product organically, see if there's any changes there that you notice. But by instance, it's likely that. I would also review to see maybe you have a competitor now who is closer organic to you and a better price or has a better main image as well. These are things that can absolutely happen, but I don't think it's a suppression issue if you still have the impressions coming through for the product as well. Hi guys, when you have variants, guys, I'm a guy. When you have variants, you do PPC for all the variants or just the most profitable. Thanks. Typically for all of them, you're going to always have a hero product on any parentage whatsoever. It's just the name of the game, right? One product is always going to be people's favorite just because it's a color people like, just looks better. It doesn't matter. There's a million reasons for a hero ASIN within parentage. Now, that being said, when you are having this type of thing and you're wondering, hey, do I do PPC? Yeah, absolutely. I would still push PPC on all of the variants just because you're just going to be spending less on the non-hero variants, basically. Let me get some water. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? How to change brand name on the ASIN. It's impossible from what support tells me. Support's lying to you. It's like it is probably seller support's favorite thing in the world to do is just straight up lie to sellers at this point in time. The amount of people that just get absolutely crap information from support and then being like, no, you can't do that. And I will be like, hey, we've done it a million times. So how do you change the brand name on ASIN? So a couple of different things. First and foremost, you need to have your new brand name registered, trademarked. Make sure that it's trademarked. Then you need to register that brand name under brand registry under the same account. Now, once you have done that, you actually are going to have to take a physical picture with like your phone of your product. You want to make sure that it shows your product with the product packaging, with the new brand name clearly displayed on that product packaging, as simple as like this, right? So just have the new brand name with it right here. Just be like, hey, look, here's the product packaging. Take a picture of this, show it there. Now, you are not going to submit a seller support case. You are going to submit a brand registry case. Seller support cannot do anything as far as brand name change goes. It is not their prerogative. They don't even actually have access to brand registry, fun fact, because Amazon silos every single service that they have. So for brand registry, you have to submit a case to them, letting them know that you need to be doing a brand name change. You will list out the specific ASINs that you are going to be changing the brand name on. You are going to submit the product photo that I just was showing you to do within that support case. And then from there, it's a fighting battle to say why you're doing it, why this is happening, how it's happening, so on and so forth. It's not fast. I'm just going to let you know. It's not easy. Now, that being said, if you're not confident in doing it yourself, feel free to reach out to us. We have a brand name change service. You can go over to myamazonguy.com and you can check out our services section. And under our services section, we have a section for brand name change. Feel free to have us do it as well. We have done thousands of brand name changes. In fact, I literally was talking to someone this morning about brand name change as well. So super simple on our end, but can be a little convoluted if you don't know the exact process for it. Health and Beauty. Hi. Hey, how's it going? I am approving the listing of the brand on Amazon, but Amazon is not giving permission for the brand, nor is it approving the brand. But even though the brand name is available on Amazon, Amazon is no... but even though the brand is on Amazon. Okay. So what do you do when essentially Amazon doesn't? First and foremost, you can always put a brand name onto a listing, right? You don't have to put a listing up as generic. You can always put a brand name on a listing, but there is a difference between a listing having a brand name and it being attached to a brand, because it being attached to a brand is brand registry, whereas it just having a brand name does nothing. It just shows what the brand name is. Now, if we are looking at what to do in this situation, if you are not able to get approval for a brand, it likely means that there is something wrong with the trademark. Now, if potentially the products you are putting up are attached to a different brand registry, that's also possible, is that someone already has a brand registry close enough to your brand. Similar things that I've seen happen where someone has a little too generic of a brand name, let's say. Something like, General Balloons. I'm really into the balloons today, but General Balloons. And then you have the brand name, The General's Balloons, right? Those are too similar. Amazon's not going to allow those two brand registries to exist at the same time, regardless of if you have a trademark or not. So in those kind of situations and scenarios, highly, highly, highly suggest that either one, you try and really push for that brand registry, make sure that nobody else has a brand registry like it. And two, if worst case scenario, you just get a new trademark and try for a new brand registry. How to calculate budget for PPC. Don't calculate so much your budget. First and foremost, it's not really you need to calculate your budget. I would much rather you calculate your margins, right? So calculate what you can be doing from an ACOS tacos standard. So, your next question here is, can you recommend any cheap software for profitability calculations? I can actually. If you head on over to myamazonguy.com/third-party recommendations, we have third-party recommended services. We actually just redid this entire thing. Shout out to Kent, our website guy. So we redid this entire thing. If you go to software solutions here, it will show a bunch of different software solutions for you. There's a couple of ones in here. One in particular, Sellerboard. Sellerboard is a great software solution for exactly what you're talking about. Super cheap. You can check it out. That will give you some good profitability calculations. That will also help you with this question, which is the budget. I would very heavily suggest usually, minimum $2,000 to $4,000 as far as like a starting budget. But on top of that, I would also look at the potential of saying, essentially doing, only based off tacos. So I'm always going to recommend an 8 to 12% tacos. 20% tacos is aggressive. If you are just starting out, 50% tacos is pretty regular and pretty normal as well. Oh, Omar, what daily budget plus duration do you recommend for a new product launch with an auto campaign? Daily budget, I mean, if you can do like $100 daily budget, that's fantastic. Duration, do I recommend? I mean, just continue going with it, right? Again, budget isn't super important, guys. It's one thing I just want to make very clear. Your budget really is not all that important. What is important is that you're hitting certain other metrics, such as tacos, right? Are you going to care? I think the best way to put this is, let's say that we have a goal, 10% tacos goal. If you spend $10,000 at 10% tacos, right? You are essentially getting $100,000 in sales. Now, if you spend $100,000 and you still have 10% tacos, you are at $1 million in sales, so on and so forth. Do you care that you have spent essentially $90,000 more than when you were doing $100,000 sales? Probably not. Tacos is just such a much better metric to stand by when you are looking at what to do from a advertising perspective. Don't worry so much about budget. Care much more about meeting certain standards, right? Same thing with daily budget. Daily budget, I mean, that just more so is based on testing, right? $100 a day, fantastic. Start with it. See if you even get close to maxing out that budget. I would be baffled if with an auto campaign you are spending $100 a day right off the bat. Royce, why does search query for a week show a total of 10 ASIN counts on 10 keywords, but I have had 45 sales in total, 30 were PPC. Why isn't the rest not showing in search query? Could just be attribution, Royce. That's the one thing. So first off, organic versus PPC attribution. But then secondarily, the attribution towards specific keywords. You don't always actually get direct attribution on keywords. And same thing with search. People don't have to search a keyword technically to be able to actually have the attribution for it. So, okay, thank you. Very helpful. You're welcome, Mark. I'm approving the listing. I already looked over this. Using the artisan soap example, would it be wrong to do both phrase and exact campaign for this? Or how do you navigate that? Phrase will technically cover exact, right? So phrase covers exact. What you could do if you want to separate them is do a negative keyword match on the phrase for the exact match. That's usually kind of one of the better practices to do there. You're just going to be limiting yourself though. So it's teach their own on how they navigate that. but it is something you could technically do. Now, the big thing at the end of the day, again, to just look at and how you're doing it is exact is going to be exactly what you're trying to look for, right? Whereas phrase, you can have a couple extra keywords after it or before it. Broad, those two keywords can be anywhere within inside of it, right? Doesn't matter how many more keywords you add onto that. The big thing is something like phrase. If you're going to do exact and phrase, you just want to do, like I said, the negation for it if you're seeing that as an issue, but you don't have to. I have a listing which has been my highest seller, and I went on a stock in FBA. I never went on a stock with seller fulfilled. Okay. But the sales have dropped drastically. Any suggestion? Yeah, people like Prime. So FBA and Prime, it's just good, right? So the difference is you get a Prime badge. First off, the Prime badge in general is a huge converting factor. I'll be entirely honest. When I pull out my phone and I'm, going through Amazon, I go to the Amazon app, I search for, I don't know, like a desktop mouse, right? So I'm searching for desktop mouse. I wish I could show this on the screen, but I'm searching for desktop mouse. One of the first things I'm going to do, if it's something I want quickly, so I'm just going to hit that little Prime button up in the top corner there, right? Like that's just going to make it so that I immediately am getting Prime. So that's your first and foremost thing. Secondarily, Amazon has a lot of warehouses across the country. The reason that they can get sometimes same day is because they have products in California, they have it in New York, they have it in Michigan, they have it all over the place, right? If you're doing FBM, seller fulfilled, you probably can't do same day. You can't do next day. You can't do 2-day. And if you do those, 9 times out of 10, you're probably charging for those, across country versus what you're currently doing. So yeah, my suggestion would be go back to FBA. Unless you have like seller fulfilled Prime. If you have seller fulfilled Prime, I would just garner potentially you don't have it in certain areas that you were getting a lot of sales from. I know that that between increasing price a little bit in increments can slow sales a bit. However, I have a separate listing that I want to join with a parent, which will increase sales and possibly remove tag with text. Which should I do first to not deter current momentum of sales, especially in preparation of Prime Day I'm not participating in? I want to be at full potential without losing rank. What steps should I take to address things? So here's the thing. If you're worried about Prime Day in general, I would probably just do the price. I'd just stick with price right now. I wouldn't even think about doing the separate listing. Keep them separated. There's no reason to struggle with it. Now, if you're not participating and you don't care about Prime Day, yeah, go forward with it, but just make sure you have a main image ready in the event. One of the main things that people always forget to do, doesn't matter, is that you should always just have a blank product photo, just a white background, blank product photo, no CTR, anything on your listing. The reason you should always have that on your listing as like the 9th image is because if Amazon ever removes your main image, you want to have a backup so that your product doesn't get suppressed. That's like standard that I think a lot of people forget a lot of times. So that's what I would do if you're worried about it, and then just merge them. I guess parent is what you're saying. I do not have enough to send FBA for the moment, but can continue selling fulfilled. Yeah, double down on advertising. Unfortunate part is you're just not going to have as much conversion, right? It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. Seller fulfilled just is not as good as FBA. How do you calculate stores by box, or do you have any tool you recommend? Are you talking about like how do you calculate what you're going to get for buy box? There are a few factors that come into buy box. Number one, most important one is price. Price is like one of the number one factors with buy box. Secondarily to that, seller feedback score, both the amount of feedback they have gotten plus the actual score of their feedback. I've seen so many people have this idea where they start like a second account or something selling products, and they're like, why aren't my products going to buy box? It's $5 lower than my other account. And it's like, well, one, you shouldn't do that, but so you do. Two, it's because your other account has 20,000 feedback and is rated 4.7, right? Like, so those are kind of two of the main things, is seller feedback. Now, obviously, account health issues, IPI score, things like that always come into account with buy box as well. Are you prime? Are you seller fulfilled? Is there a specific tool to recommend for buy box? No. I mean, the only thing is, are you curious, like, how often they're getting the buy box? Because Amazon just tells you that on the homepage. Which maybe that's what you are asking. And if that's what you're asking is just featured offer percentage, just go to the Amazon homepage. You can, oh, here we go. It's right here, featured offer, buy box. You can always just go here for this and it'll tell you what the featured offer has been for your product. But I don't know if that's what you're asking. If you have a better way of explaining it, Juan, I'd be happy to dive in. Rahul, how to choose keyword in launch phase? Helium 10 Cerebro gives thousands of keyword. Even after search volume and other filter, I came to 20 or 30 keywords. Should I target 20 or 30 in launch or narrow down? You can absolutely target 20 or 30 at launch. Actually, that's honestly not that bad of a launch, right? Because if you think about it, that's about 6 campaigns worth of keywords, in my opinion, at the very least, because I like 5 per campaign. So yeah, honestly, that's not bad at all from a targeting perspective. Now, the big thing to understand is making sure that you're also doing a little bit of data and research into your top competitors, which I'm sure you did because you know Cerebro at this point. Yeah. We have a couple of videos I've put out on how to choose keyword and do keyword research, especially for launch, and how that differs from somebody who's like a seasoned product of some kind. So one of the things majorly to do there is, that's not too many keywords at all. Now, if you're telling me it's like 100 that you want to go after, yeah, probably a little too much for launch. But no, I mean, honestly, 6 campaigns worth of keywords, not a problem. If our main keyword in title one time, is in the title one time. So how many time can we use that keyword on bullet points for better SEO? Any tips for listing SEO? Don't keyword stuff. That's my tip. Don't do keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing does not help you with SEO indexing with Amazon's A10 algorithm. In fact, keyword stuffing does the exact opposite most times. Makes Amazon not want to show your product more often. So do not put your primary keyword 25 times throughout your entire listing. If you do, you are going to have a worse amount of organic search volume with that keyword. So my suggestion instead would be to add it in your title, maybe once or twice throughout the rest of the listing if it warrants using that keyword, but do not have it be a primary attribute of the entire listing. That's a little SEO PSA from Noah today. Before periodically changing bids for keyword, do you check keyword rank, organic and sponsored first, and based on then change bids? And what other factor you check first before changing bids? Yeah, I mean, that is one factor I will look at. For instance, if I have like a good click-through rate, I have a good conversion rate, I'm getting okay impressions, right, on a keyword, but I'm still not, kind of maxed out on what I could be doing on it. Of course, I'm going to look at the ranking, right? Am I showing up well for it? Am I actually bidding appropriately for it? If I find out I'm like rank 50 for a keyword or something, and it's like a top of search placement I've been going after, yeah, I'm absolutely going to increase my bid allotment for that. We lost sales to our product. What to do to bring back the sales? That is too broad of a question. But here's some generals, I suppose. Redo your main image, increase click-through rate, increase your bids for your top relevancy keywords on your campaigns to make sure you're actually getting impressions. Hopefully you get a good click-through rate with those impressions because you optimized your main image. Fantastic. Verify that your competitors are not way competitively priced compared to you, and you actually have good conversion by having good pricing. Optimize your A+ content and your brand store to increase that conversion even more. Go after long tail, exact. There you go. It is available on Amazon and also USPTO, and Amazon decline the case every time. Oh. So you're saying that you're saying your brand registry is on it or is available on Amazon. But that didn't really answer the question, Health and Beauty. If you have too general of a brand registry or too general of a trademark, Amazon will not allow it. Like I can't, even if USPTO had the trademark available for like scissors, right? Like just the word scissors, right? I want to trademark the word scissors. It's available on USPTO. No one else has it. I can trademark that word if USPTO allows it, which they probably won't. But Amazon still won't allow me to create a brand registry for the term scissors, right? So you could still just have two. Oh, actually, you know what? Another thing to check to make sure whatever law office you had do your brand registry and your trademark, check whoever did your trademark isn't a blacklisted lawyer. Amazon has a list of essentially trademark lawyers that are blacklisted from brand registry for a variety of reasons. If you had a specific person do your trademark for you and the lawyer on your trademark is one of the blacklisted ones, Amazon won't let you brand register no matter what you have ever. So you have to change the lawyer before you can go through brand registry. So maybe that's the case, but I'm guessing it's more generic. How do I see which items were disposed using a removal order? The transaction view doesn't show it and the disposal view isn't showing it. I want to see all the disposal fees and what they are charging. Ooh, which items were disposed using a removal? I mean, so you designate that, right? So removal order, you designate which items are removed. But I think you're asking something different, Viper. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the transaction view. If you're wondering like what products, you can go to, let's go to fulfillment reports. Believe. Let's see here. Here we go. So let me share this screen. All right, Viper. I think this is what you're asking, but let's verify. So first and foremost, head on over to your reports, go to fulfillment reports. Once you are at fulfillment reports, you can scroll down here on the left side. There is this section for removals. You can check this, which is removal shipment detail. This will tell you everything that was removed within the order. I think this is what you're asking. I'm not positive, but I assume based on your question, that's what you're asking. Now, the other aspect of this is you should already know ahead of time what is being removed or disposed of, but in any case, maybe not. Fernando, this is one of our brand managers. Hello, sir. How can we target a market flooded with brands with big search on their branded terms? While the market keywords, non-branded, are way too small compared to the branded, and they keep increasing cost per click on them. All right, so the best strategy that I typically see, I should probably get rid of the screen share here. There we go. The best strategy I typically see whenever we're in a market that is extremely competitive. It doesn't matter, if it's even a supplement. Actually, supplement might even be a great way to look at this, right? So it's filled with big brands and big search on their branded terms. Fantastic. That's what most people within the market are looking for. That's okay. Typically speaking, the best strategy for this is going after and increasing the number of long tail exact matches you can do. And it seems super counterintuitive because you would think that typically long tail exact, it's usually going to be pretty costly from a cost per click perspective, right? And they're not going to be the largest search volume. I'm sure that's kind of what you mean from the non-branded keywords are way too small compared to the branded. Yeah, that'll always happen. Now, secondarily to that, what I also like doing is building up brand identity within this. It's, I think, difficult for any seller at any point in time on Amazon to build true brand awareness, especially when you have giant competitors. I think my favorite example is people never really search nose tissue. They search Kleenex. And, Kleenex is just a huge, huge, huge keyword. And it's just such a branded term. So the goal isn't necessarily, you're not trying to compete with the big brand names, right? Because you don't compete with the big brand names. Great example in the luggage category, Samsonite in the luggage category currently owns, I think, like 17% of all sales across all luggage. You aren't competing with Samsonite, right? You can't compete on the same level that Samsonite can just because they already own literally, whatever that is, 1/5 of the entire market share of an entire category. What you can compete on is specific niches around that category, right? So, is there a specific area that you can target from a high relevancy to your product, but low search volume? You can win a lot with low search volume at the end of the day. If you have 200 search volume and 1 conversion or 2 conversions on that, that's still better conversion than some search volume that's 100,000 that you get none off of because it's just such dominating competitive niche. So usually that's how I go about it, is building brand awareness within the hyper niche of a subcategory, if possible. Now, if it's just, the one thing I do want to point out is I can't stand things like bread box, right? I've seen this a million times as well. Bamboo bread box is my favorite example of this because this became super relevant. Look, at the end of the day, you're not going to differentiate yourself with a bamboo bread box, right? It's a little different than your scenario, Fernando, but it's still, I think, relevant. All of these products are pretty much the exact same product. In fact, I think a lot of times, many of them are the exact same product, just slightly differing, right? You're not going to differentiate yourself too much with a bamboo bread box. Pricing is the number one thing, right? So for a hyper specific, you can still target all of those branded search terms, right? You just can't really get a ton. Always remember the aspect that 1 PPC sale is worth 3 SEO over the next 6 months. So even if you're targeting those branded search terms on the ad side of things, just make sure that you can essentially pick up at least 1 PPC sale from them. That one is going to be impactful towards long-term indexing and ranking. Realify Games. Okay. Hey, new to Amazon and new subscribers. We haven't started yet, but read so many horror stories of getting banned on Reddit. Is it easy to get banned or very rare than it actually looks? A mix of the two, Realify. Here's what I'll tell you. A lot of people do get banned on Amazon. Do you want to know why a lot of people get banned on Amazon? Because they are doing something against the terms and service to get themselves banned. The amount of people that I know that, have come through like a coaching, or they just ask questions and they're just like, hey, I did this thing that Amazon very clearly states you're not supposed to do, and I got banned. How can I get my account back? You can't. Amazon does not care about the average seller. They don't. Amazon doesn't care about the seller at all. They are the most customer centric. It is why we have designed ourselves as the most seller centric. It's all of us versus Amazon, right? So here's what I'll tell you. Make sure whatever you're doing, like the most common things people get banned for, Realify, are review manipulation. If you're going to sell a product, don't send that product directly to a bunch of friends and family and have them give you a 5-star review. Simple as that. Don't buy your reviews. Don't purchase reviews. Simple as that. If you are going to, sell a product, don't sell that product as like a drop ship from Walmart. That will get you banned. Unless you do like the workaround thing where you like brown box it and stuff like that. That'll be fine then. But if otherwise, it'll get you banned, right? Don't put up a bunch of products that you're going to get IP complaints for. Don't sell counterfeit goods. These are super common things that people constantly do still, and I don't know why. And then they go to Reddit and they complain about getting banned or suspended. Now, are suspensions common? Yeah. Amazon suspends people all the time for stuff that is just BS claims. But the only people who truly get suspended and never get out of suspension are people who deserve to be suspended. Simple as that. Oh, another one. Don't buy your competitor's product and then review it with a 1-star review. The amount of people that have done that and get banned is crazy. Is it possible that we first list it in generic and then add the brand name to it, which will be a generic product, and then add the brand name to it? Yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can always list a product as generic first, and then you can add the brand name later down the road. That's completely allowed. Many sellers want from day one profit, and many sellers want growth. So, as a PPC expert, what you will do in this situation? Honestly, anyone who is starting on Amazon, the best thing you can possibly do if you are just launching a new product on Amazon is just, first off, expect that you're not going to get sales for the first, I don't know, 6 months, or not sales, profit for like the first 6 months to 12 months. Like, you should not go into it and thinking that you're going to immediately profit. There's all these quote unquote Amazon gurus out there, right? And they constantly talk about this idea of like, oh yeah, I want to be able to, you can make profit. You can make $100,000 in sales in your first 30 days, and you can, profit $1 million. Who cares? The Amazon gurus do not, they're trying to sell you a course. They're not trying to actually make sure that you have a, surviving, thriving brand and business. I don't think you should even think about profit if you can for your first couple of months. Think about literally just breaking even. If you can break even on Amazon your first 12 months, you're doing really well, to be honest. How do you find more keywords for your ads? Also, if you see your competitors spending on a keyword, do you put that keyword in exact or broad? How do you find broad keywords to run ads? Yeah, so I have a video I did on this, but some light general on here, Zane, is essentially I always look at competitors. That's like number one way to find new keywords is look at competitors and what they are currently going against. If they are targeting specific things, likely means you should also be targeting those things. Secondarily, that you can always find specific keywords based on category and niche for your product using something like Black Box, for instance. Those are definitely ways to go about it. Now, another aspect, do I do exact or broad? Depends on what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to, and what the keyword is, if it's like more than 4 characters, right? Or more than 4 words, right? So it's long tail keyword, exact all the way. But if it's something like a super generic niche keyword, or not generic niche, that if it's just like a generic keyword, like a 1-word keyword, broad is probably going to be a little bit better. You can get in some tricky territory there with some negative targeting is the only thing. So that's something I would definitely go and check out. How to make the profit or the product profitable if it's too much competitive and have high bid rate. It's all about the organic growth, right? So you have to have organic growth over time and start gaining organic traction. That's how you get profitability, because you should have your product selling at a price organically that is profitable. Now, yes, you're again going to have to spend some advertising. Think of advertising more like jet fuel. Advertising is the jet fuel for growing organically. You can grow organically super, super, super slow unless you're super competitive, like you say. So advertising is always going to be the jet fuel. The goal is long-term organic growth, though. Then how come my CTR has dropped to below 1%, even though my price is much lower than before in competing price? PPC is the only driving force for purchases, but organic dropping. What do I do to increase organic sales if price is already low? This depends on a couple of factors, Royce. So for instance, are you positive you don't have a hidden suppression? It's one thing I would always check. You can show up for keywords, doesn't mean you won't have a hidden suppression. Secondarily, are you positive that the main image hack that you have is actually relevant to where you are showing up from an organic stance? What is your current ranking as well for these keywords? The rate dropped for all of the keywords that you are high ranking for or not? That's another factor you have to take into account, right? If you end up having a main image hack that is suppressed in some way, shape, or form, that's something that could happen as well. So the reason I said have that blank product photo, or not blank product photo, but just like the white background product photo in there, is that if you perchance have a product image or a main image that is actually suppressed and you don't know it and it didn't come through as a notification, your product is technically suppressed. So you won't be showing up as much for the ability to have that click-through rate. So that's entirely possible as well. You can always just do a main image hack test and change it. I have a new seller I have a new listing. I'm a manufacturer in the seller. I'm concerned about going to FBA as I can't get exact clarity on the cost of FBA and it's eating too high into my margins. Have suggestions. Yeah. So first and foremost, Amazon revenue calculator or Amazon fee calculator. Let's just do Amazon calculator. Here we go. Let's pull this one up. So Amazon has this cool little nifty tool that I would use. This is their revenue calculator. I was right the first time. It's because they call it profitability calculator in the URL. So they have this cool little nifty tool, Jordan. You can put your product in here. You can also define the product, estimate in bulk, so on and so forth. This will help you immensely. Essentially just from, if I take let's take one of these bamboo bread boxes that I was looking at, right? So if I take one of these bamboo bread boxes, I can search it. What do you mean? This is the exact product. There we go. All right. Failed to get product dimensions. Okay, so Amazon's revenue calculator sucks right now, apparently. Go figure, it's Amazon. Anyways, this will give you a bunch of information around your product. Now, secondarily, you could look at doing something like Seller Board that will help you immensely when you're looking at the profitability for it. At the end of the day, FBA is expensive. Yes, it is very expensive. Typically, somewhere between 40 and 60% of your total revenue is going to go towards fees in selling the product, right? So if it's eating too much margin, you need to look at potentially a price increase. You could also look at ways to essentially kind of decrease that. Can you offer more branded promotions? Can you do a little bit higher pricing? So there's a lot of different avenues around this, but the exact cost is always going to be right there. You can also go to as well your fulfillment reports, what we were going over earlier, and you can actually get the payments. So you can see your fee preview for all of your fulfillment fees. So if you go to this payment section and do a fee preview, Jordan, that should give you a good understanding of all of your current FBA fees as well. World in 10 minute. I launched a new product 25 days ago with 7 Color. I'm getting 2 to 3 daily sales, some with ads, and my organic rank is improving. To boost momentum, I'm considering a small giveaway. Without review, where is it? I don't see the second one from you. World in 10 minutes. Without review. I'm just going to assume that's where you're ending it. I don't know what the question is though. A small giveaway though would be fine. What I would just suggest is doing a promotion, do an a buy one get one promotion, which you can absolutely do. So it's just under the promotions tab, and you can do a buy one get one, and it would allow you to do it. Just assume that's basically the same equivalent as like a 50% ACOS or 50% off promotion. Any way to calculate median price and then manipulate it as per need? What do you mean? You calculate median price. Do you mean like median selling price? I mean, yeah, take all your orders and see what you've been selling it at. And then I don't know what you mean by manipulate. That's the only thing I'm kind of confused on. Hi, John. How are you? What is Amazon Marketing Cloud and how can it be used effectively to drive results? Amazon Marketing Cloud is just Amazon's entire marketing, right? The Marketing Cloud technically focuses on more than just Amazon. It's off Amazon as well. How can it be used effectively to drive results? Having a lot of ad spend. If your budget is anything lower, like total ad budget is anything lower than, let's say, like $50,000 per month, don't think about anything other than, well, let's say probably $30,000 a month. If your ad budget for all of your advertising is anything less than $30,000 per month, don't think about anything other than Amazon PPC. It just truly, I mean, you can do some email marketing in there as well, but I don't consider that as part of like true ad budget. So that's what I'll say there as a total. The Marketing Cloud, though, is just all of Amazon's marketing services, including things like DSP. So there are a minimum amount of sales required for Amazon referral fee to kick in. When I launched, I had high sales volume, was charged the referral fee, but now my velocity has been reduced. I don't get charged yet. So that's only if you have a personal selling account. It's specific to what you get charged. If you, if you have no velocity, then yeah, you're not going to get charged a referral fee until a certain amount. So that's for the personal selling account only. If you have professional, then I would just verify, because you probably are still being charged the referral fee in some capacity. I've never seen anyone who just doesn't get charged a referral fee. How do you determine what a good CTR and conversion rate be for campaigns? 0.5 is what I would consider to be a very good CTR for a campaign. And anything between a 10 and 15% is what I would consider to be a good conversion rate. Those are pretty much standard across the board. Anything below 0.2 for click-through rate is going to be what I would consider really, really bad for a campaign. And anything below around 6% for conversion rate is what I would consider to be a bad campaign. Also, if I'm ranking high organically on a keyword, should I still advertise on that keyword? Depends. Are you in a very competitive niche? Is that keyword very competitive? Are you #1 placement? Can you have rest of search placement for the advertising? There's a variety of reasons. I typically would. It just depends on how you're going about it. Just don't cannibalize yourself, right? Unless you're super, super, super competitive, there's not much need to do like a top of search placement. How to check how many cubic space each product occupy in FBA warehouse. Capacity managers show we used all space, but we want to know on a product level which product is using more space. I don't think you can. Here's what I would say is, I mean, I can check. Oh, actually, you know what? I think you can technically. So one thing you could do, let's do this. So one thing you could do, again, with the fulfillment reports, apparently this is the fulfillment report podcast today. So under the fulfillment reports, we have the inventory section here. So inventory is going to give us a couple of things. If you go to your inventory ledger, it should technically tell you how much inventory is in each space. It's not going to tell you the exact cubic feet or anything like that. So that's the only aspect, but it will tell you where the inventory is, how much inventory there is of each one. Now, what you could do as well here, Rahul, is you could just, the dimension of all of your products, right? And potentially the case packs, how many there are. You can do the math yourself of what the cubic feet they are taking up is per product, right? Based on the number of units that you have. That's another option, probably the faster one, to be honest. Roysh, so should I just remove the tag? Yeah, do an A/B test. If you're seriously saying your click-through rate, Roysh, is just like getting decimated right now, that to me says potentially your main image has a problem. I just got rid of Arc browser. Yeah, you're like years too late with that. How many sales do I need to index for percentage of ASIN share in search query to determine if I need to put in a PPC campaign or put in listing title alt text backend? I don't have a specific sales number. Typically speaking, this is going to depend on what your goal is right now. So what phase is your product in? This is just basic. I mean, Royce, you know a lot of our systems. If you go to myamazonguy.com/SEO, you'll see our phases, right? And you know that phase 4 is market share report, right? Through search queries. So I would just follow our phase 4 terminology and rules. We have several videos on it that you can look. Typically speaking, what I'm going to look for is just seeing that I at least have some form of market share. And if it's a high relevancy keyword or if it's something different. Let's see, Rahul. Do IP violation suspend your Amazon seller account? If yes, then how many IP violation warning? Yeah, they absolutely can. I don't think it's specific number. It's basically your account health. How many of them are repeat offenses? So first time offenses usually don't affect account health unless it's like a serious offense. If it's a minor offense, it doesn't. That being said, if it's like counterfeit IP, then yeah, that's a major offense that will affect your account health. If you have multiple of those that go unresolved, then you will get suspended. Absolutely. Have you used Amazon's creative tools for image generator / video builder or AI creative studio? Can this be used to create A+ content, brand stories, or only ads? Right now, I believe it's only ads. We did. It's actually funny you mentioned that because there was one the other day that I was looking at. So one of our ad specs. Let me see if I can pull this up here. One of our ad specs actually put together a video. Let me download this real quick. Here we go. Oh, it's really loud. So the video generation is actually, I would say, halfway decent. Let me present, share screen. So this is the video. It's halfway decent. I made a joke where I said this guy's going to kill somebody driving. It does have music as well, which, you know, is what it is. But I just think it's really funny that, you know, it shows this guy. He's just looking and he's doing this. This guy's going to kill somebody, guaranteed. You can also see that the truck itself is kind of weird. Like, I'm not too sure what all of this is over here on the left side. So look, AI video generation, it's come a long way. Do I think that this is perfect? No. Is it better than what we've had? Yeah. Google VO3 is great from what I've seen as well. You know, that's not going to be for everyone though. But also, yeah, it's just for right now, anything advertising related, which technically A+ content is considered advertising. So you could technically create it, just not using the actual generation. What's your opinion on listing political stuff like the current trending "No Kings in America"? If that's trending, I've never heard that, but okay. Does it pose serious issues on merch account? No, it doesn't. So we actually we have a couple of clients that do specifically only political type stuff, like political signage. There are specific like rules around it that I would just look into. That you can have some issues. Like, you can't say specific things, but I mean, if you want to go for it, go for it. The one thing I would just look at is like, what are people actually looking for and how are you actually targeting it, right? So like the "No Kings in America" thing, like I said, I've never actually heard that. Apparently it's trending according to you, but that's one of those things where, especially in this day and age, I feel like people get in their bubbles a little bit. So things that are trending, I'm also, to be fair, I hate trendy products. I'm a big hater of trendy products simply because exactly that. It's a trend. It will die. The product is not going to work forever, right? So I'm not a huge fan of doing trendy products personally, just because you have a life expectancy of that product. It's not something that I would really typically go after, but if it's something you want to, sure, go for it. If I want to add keywords to PPC campaigns, should I add them to most successful campaigns, or doesn't matter? I mean, yeah, you can. The thing is, with most successful campaigns, right? Why are you adding it to those campaigns? You know, you already have a successful campaign. I would just create new campaigns for those specific keywords, unless you're talking about like adding new search terms in. Does external traffic affect organic ranking? If yes, how much percentage? What's the best way for external traffic? We never tried it. Yeah, absolutely. Amazon loves external traffic. If you can drive some external traffic, all the better. Amazon loves when people drive it. It's why I think email marketing is such a great tool for Amazon sellers. Yes, absolutely. If you can drive. Is there a percentage? No, of course. I mean, I could put something together, I'm sure, and get a case study for you. Look, I didn't make the A10 algorithm, and there's not a single person on this planet who can actually tell you exactly how the A10 algorithm works. We have a ton of hypotheses. We have a ton of ways of calculating things. Having 400 clients lets you see a lot of data, so we have some really good insights from that. But there's not like an exact percentage. But I can tell you for a fact that external traffic works exceptionally well. Has forever, to be fair. What is Amazon Marketing Cloud and how can it be used? You already asked this question. What's the look back window you use for Amazon sponsored report, like search term report, i.e. last 30 days, or else do you exclude last 24, 72 hours for data attribution? Can you give an example? I do last 30 days most of the time. So anytime I'm looking at anything a reporting standard, I usually like to do actually 3. I will do a 7-day, I'll do a 14-day, then a 30-day, and I do a comparison of all of those over the last 30 days. The reason for that is just because I like to see the attribution if it's changed. There have been so many times where I have seen a campaign that is just fumbling the bag in the last 7 days, but then you look at the last 30 days and it's like the best campaign you've ever seen. So absolutely have multiple attribution windows that you're looking at. Now, excluding 24, 72 hours for data attribution, I'm indifferent towards it. I mean, you already kind of exclude the 48, which is usually what I end up doing. Is there a way to know how many reviews a specific product within a variation? My product has 15 variations, and I'm thinking there are too many. So remove those designs with less reviews. I mean, the easiest way would be to just deparent, so delete the parentage, wait for the children to be on their own, and then just look at each individual one and then just reparent it. I mean, you can do that over the course of, a day or two. Realistically, you can do that over the course of a day. You can delete a parentage and then reparent them all within pretty much the same day, realistically. Thank you. We are doing FBM currently. I'm thinking we do small batch of FBA to trial it. You talk about FBA drives more sales over FBM. Is this a function of the consumer or Amazon? I would say, honestly, probably a little bit both. Amazon, again, like if we're looking at the Amazon app, for instance, which majority of people purchase on the app, the very first thing from a filter perspective, right? I don't know if you guys can even see that, but the very first thing from a filter perspective is the Prime button, right? Right there on the right side. So that's the very first thing that you see on the filtering is Prime. So that's a function of Amazon saying, hey, you should do Prime stuff because Amazon makes more money on Prime items, right? So definitely that, but also consumers just know Prime at this point, right? They know that Prime means I'm getting the product sooner. They know Prime means it's coming directly from Amazon. It's just better, right? So it's a function of both, I would say. How accurate is Helium 10 as far as suggested bid price for PPC and also their CPR number? It's fairly accurate. I usually give Helium within 5 to 10. For the most part, 5 to 10% like leeway one way or another. For suggested bid price, just put it into Amazon. I've never understood this thing where people are like curious how they understand suggested bid, because you can literally, if I just go to like Amazon advertising right now. So let me just go to advertising. If I just put in, or I just go to create a campaign, right? And let me, how do I share? Let me share the screen. You don't need to use Helium to know what you should be doing from a campaign level. If I want to, I can create a campaign. I'll just add a product to it. I'm going to do manual targeting, and I can just enter a list. Let's say I want to target bananas, right? I can add the keyword bananas, and it gives me the suggested bid right away, right? So there's zero reason to go off of Helium's suggested bid for PPC when it's right here. And this data is for sure more accurate than Helium's. So I just go off Amazon's. It takes 2 seconds to put the keyword in. That being said, if you're just looking for like general ones based off of bid volume and stuff like that and what suggested bid is, yeah, use Helium, but it's 5-10%. It's fairly accurate within reason. Median selling price, which Amazon considers the median price for all order within the last 30 days. By manipulating, I mean how to change that median price, because we get error when creating coupons. Okay. So you're talking about the average selling price. So essentially look at it like this, Rahul. Let's say that you have a $20 item. You are selling that item for days 1 through 10 for $20. You then do a slash through price, and you are selling the item at, let's say 25% off at $15, and you sell that for the remainder of the month. You are going to have an average selling price over the last 30 days of $17.50, right? Because you had 10 days at 20, you had 20 days at 15. You're going to average out, well, actually, I guess you would average out closer to 16 something, right? Because you did 20 days at 50. It's simple as that. The biggest thing, Rahul, is you can actually very easily do this. Why am I all of a sudden getting really white? It's getting really bright all of a sudden. I don't know what my camera is doing to me with a white balance thing. But anyways, super simple, right? When you're thinking about it from that capacity, Rahul, it's very simple because all you have to do is essentially say, hey, what is my list price at? Just keep pushing the price down until it tells you, like, you have to have the coupon 10% lower, right, than what the average selling price was. So just have the coupon, just, you know what the coupon has to be, 10% lower. Just keep lowering the price until you see, and then you will know what your average selling price is. Dude, seriously, what is with the brightness going on here? Are we seeing this? What is happening? I'm turning into just like the brightest and whitest guy known to man, which I get it. I'm white, but like not this white. Goodness. What's a main image hack and what would cause it? So I should remove the tag. Main image hack. Go to myamazonguy.com/main image. We have a million things on this. We do typically boxes are going to be the best for main image hacks. Let's see. We got a couple more questions, and I got to bounce out here. Any way to keep track of keyword bid changes and result after changing bid, tool or manual way, whichever is best. I have more than 500 campaigns, and it's difficult to keep track of bid change and results. First and foremost, if you have over 500 campaigns, or if you have 500 campaigns, you have too many campaigns. I say this as someone who has ran campaigns and ran advertising on accounts that are doing $500,000 a month in monthly ad spend. I've ran on those and they do not have 500 campaigns. So I don't know how much you're doing overall from like an ad spend perspective, but I can almost promise you have too many campaigns. That being said, take bulk files first and foremost. That's how you should be getting it. Secondarily, you can just get history of everything from bulk files or on the direct campaign itself. But dear Lord, Rahul, you need to cut down your number of campaigns. I can't even imagine how much wasted ad spend you have with 500 campaigns. We have a good following on TikTok. If at launch we're driving sales from TikTok by asking people for reviews, would that go against Amazon terms service? Yes, you cannot ask people for reviews. I mean, you can't ask them for positive reviews. You can ask them for reviews, but how are you asking them? Are you asking them on TikTok to review your product? If so, yeah, that's a bit of a violation. You can't just be asking people to go to your product and then review it. That's review manipulation. What is the best and cheapest way for FBM shipping, or can you recommend a 3PL, if any? Yeah. Again, myamazonguy.com/third-party services. We have several here. So again, check out the new third-party services page. Recommend third-party service. If you click this button for logistics, we have a couple of different good options. My FBA prep is going to be my top option for you as far as 3PLs. Where to go? It's a UPS company. It's also a really good one. ShipBob's really good as well. All of those are great recommendations, though. All right, guys, I got to bounce out of here. There are a couple of questions. Unfortunately, I can't get to them. That being said, for those that are unaware, we are My Amazon Guy. We are a full-service Amazon agency. We do everything on Amazon, A to Z. Go check out our website if you need help on Amazon. We do coaching on Amazon. We do a variety of services. We have a direct consumer masterclass that I am hosting coming up here in about a week. So if you're interested in joining that, head on over to the site and sign up to register for that event. We have tons and tons of services. Check out our services tab. As I was talking about earlier, common one, brand name change. We even will do that for you across the board. We have some new services for direct consumer, Google Ads, and Meta Ads management. If you just want to talk to somebody and you want to figure out some things, we do one-on-one coaching. You can get a coaching call with myself. We have some great coaches here. Go and check that out as well. All that being said, I will be back next Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern to answer any and all of your e-commerce related questions. Hope everyone has a great weekend and great week ahead. See you guys.